A police pursuit of a suspect vehicle wanted in connection with an incident in Onion Lake last month had many border city residents on edge. But the reality of the situation was not as intense as some had believed. Now, many turned to our Facebook page to discuss it, and that's where the situation took a turn for the worse. Now, in this installment of our RCMP Monthly, Staff Sergeant Joe Wenish discusses how rumors on social media can impede in their investigations. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. All
right, so we're just kind of going to get started on exactly people spreading rumors, especially through social media, which has now become kind of prevalent. But here's one from an incident back in May. We'll kind of talk about that. But one response we got from someone on our Facebook page, they were saying, you know, there are apparently people driving around shooting at people in and around Lloydminster, but the only way we know about this is through social media. The news stations won't report anything. They've never heard of breaking news, major fail. Now, we all know that this was not the case. This was a rumor that spread and somehow caught fire, and everyone was talking about it on social media. Can you kind of touch a little bit on this incident that happened?
The problem with something like you read on social media is that some of this stuff comes from people with scanners, and they're listening to what the police are doing. This particular event, there's even an allegation on there that that this was a training exercise for the police. We would never conduct a training exercise in public involving the pursuit of a vehicle in town. We actually asked for your help, the media's help, in having, instead of the sets of eyes of 8 officers that are on duty, we're looking for the sets of eyes of the public as well to see if we can find this vehicle in town. And that's maybe where some of that comes from. People jump to a conclusion of what we're looking for and not really reporting the accurate way it happened.
So how does this impede your guys' when you're investigating something, or you have to sift through all these people filing complaints saying, oh, we're hearing this and this and this?
It's hard to address the rumors as they're happening, especially when we're dealing with an incident that happens in the moment. We're trying to deal with it in the moment. We would want people to call us with information directly, not post it on a string on Facebook, for instance, but rather call us with information directly. The information that people are putting on a Facebook page is inaccurate. It actually could cause other people to look at that information and almost assume it's their own information. So if we end up interviewing people, they might remember what they read rather than what they saw. And we can't always let the public know all the information about a certain investigation. We have witnesses that we want to discuss, and we do that for the same reason. We don't want to plant information in somebody's head about a case where they have specific information. So social media, it's great. We like it because it can help us a lot. But some of the rumors and stuff that end up being posted on there cause us some difficulty.
Well, time once again for Retrospect this week from the archives. Now in this edition, Brian Hardy brings us a story about how the Neighborhood Watch program is helping the community. But first, we take a look at the advantages of having an RCMP bike patrol.
This week in 1997, the mounted police were back in the saddle.
Constable Danielle Bernard prefers this mode of transportation any day, and thanks to the city of Lloydminster, who purchased 2 new bikes for the local force earlier this year, she and fellow officers will be able to spend more time on a street or path near you.
We just think it's a really good service, and we're 100% behind that project. We've had a number of cases of vandalism throughout the city, and what the bikes do is allow the police officers to get into those areas and be visible.
RCMP definitely see the increased bike patrols this summer as an effective tool to combat more areas of crime in the community.
The break-in enters, especially into vehicles, liquor offenses in parking lots, fights. When you approach on a bike, people aren't expecting it.
Bike patrols also bring RCMP closer to the community. Bernard says using a bicycle instead of her patrol car makes her more approachable for local residents. Julie Matthews, Police Beat.
It's June 2007, and neighbors are looking after neighbors.
Eleanor is the eyes and ears of her neighborhood.
Oh, well, I'm responsible for this block here.
Eleanor is a Neighborhood Watch block captain. The program has been bringing community members together in Lloydminster for 19 years.
The need basically is for people to go back to how it was in the country years ago and look out for each other.
And the group's work has not gone unnoticed.
So Neighborhood Watch is great in that they've come together and said, we as volunteers are going to become organized and make a little extra effort. So we definitely appreciate their assistance, and they are valuable.
As for Eleanor, she knows how far a bit of community spirit can go.
So it's a good bunch, really.
In Lloydminster, Paul Moore, Newcap News.
Join us next time for a Grad Party Revisited on Retrospect, this week from the archives.